Fixing my 71 Bezel with Jay.
Shouldn't be necessary to begin with.
I agree. So I made a video not too long ago about this really nice bezel that I bought from Dakota Digital. But at least it was supposed to be really nice. And I thought I was being a little petty, but it was just something I wanted to highlight. So if someone else bought a bezel and ran into this issue, it was a known issue. Really though, it's one of those things where, you know, I went down the path, hit them up, asked if it was normal, and they basically said, we can't guarantee you if we send another one, it's gonna be any better than that one. So I was like, you know what? I know people who do hobby painting and like Jay, I don't know if you guys don't watch Jay's, I guess it's your second channel you post your boat stuff to?
No, not even a channel, it's just Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. So Jay's like hardcore model builder. He's built some pretty epic things before.
It's more patience simulator.
Yes, very true. But I basically showed him the issue. I don't know. Did I tell you about the issue first, or did you see the video?
You called me when you had basically told me the day before. You're like, hey, my gauges arrived today. I'm excited. And then the next day you called me and were like, hey, I need to pick your brain on something. And then you sent me the pictures, and I was like, holy crap. I think my daughter painted that. She's 5.
But there's some issues. And what Jay took, I didn't look at this as closely as Jay did, but Jay came over and he's like, well, let's see how this thing was assembled. And what he had determined was this was actually completely chrome dip. And I didn't look at it that closely, but if you look, you can actually see the overspray of the black. So this entire thing is chrome underneath this black, and then they probably have a stencil or a template that allows them to paint the black areas. And yeah, I don't know why I didn't notice that before, but I guess I didn't really look at it that closely outside of looking at the...
Well, I think part of it too is the dominant color here is black, so you would think that would have been the base, right? But it seems like to me like they waste an awful lot of chrome material too to do this. And I'm not sure what this is. Like, it almost looks like there's brush marks in it. It could be also just, it's picking up the marks of the plastic underneath, because you can see all the eyelets from where it was, you know, in the mold. But it's just funny that there's so much chrome wasted on the back just for the trim on the front. But it's clear their stencil doesn't give good coverage, because you can see the overspray in there and whatnot. But I was worried that if this was just the raw ABS material that they put the chrome on, that my black paints wouldn't match. But now that I know that this is painted, means my black will probably match really well. And then the Molotow chrome, it looks like silver from the side because it's just chrome pigments that are being suspended in lacquer. And so what happens is this is the self-leveling paint, and if you let it just sort of sit there, you'll see the top will really start to look like liquid chrome. Like, it kind of looks like the T2000 Terminator, right? It has that sort of a, it's not as chrome as these dip materials, but we don't need it to be, because we just need to clean up some of these areas up here, and then the black touch up down there. So we're just gonna hit the trouble spots, because the last thing we want to do is try and repaint this whole thing.
Okay, you guys are about to witness the most lethal cardboard paint booth ever.
And then obviously up here, like, we need to touch that up, because you're gonna probably see, at your height, you're gonna see that for sure.
Yeah.
Because you'll be looking down at it at an angle, and that's pretty bad right there.
Now, when my wife drives, she'll be like, that looks great.
Your wife will be like that. You know? Probably like that.
That's about right. Yeah.
We both have short wives, and we're both tall dudes. So.
Yes, it's a weird trend. I don't know.
So you can see how inside the lid looks like it's chrome plated now, the longer it's been sitting there.
Yeah.
It's really neat stuff, and I think that's the problem with the Molotow, and I spent a lot of time learning how to use it back when I first bought it. It's not like a regular paint. It's truly what they call a liquid chrome. And so I was trying to spray to get the coverage to look like chrome, but what I realized is you have to spray it on a black base layer, and then it's just like mirrors, right? How they use like a medium gray for the backing of a mirror. This needs black underneath it, and I was spraying it directly on silver, and I was like, why is it not looking like chrome? And then I finally learned how to use it after doing some projects with it, and it turns out really good. Like, it's believable that it's chrome when you do it.
Oh, he sent me a text message of the chrome, and he's like, shiny. I was like, dang, that looks good.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's gonna look better than the chrome that's already on there probably. So we'll see. We'll find out. So Jay's gonna make me do this. The shiny chrome part, it's like,
it messes with your eyes, right?
It totally messes with your eyes.
Yeah, it's a mirror at that point. You can't tell if you're on the edge or touching it.
Did I just paint that?
Yeah, so I think like that's pretty good for the first, because there's some of the texture you see goes right up to the chrome.
Yep.
So you'll want it like maybe just lightly go over that again.
Well, I can't tell if it was just shiny because it's fresh paint, or if it was...
That's chrome. You can see it from this angle.
You can't see where it's still a little wet. You can see the gloss in the lens, but we'll let it dry and we'll take a closer look at how that's all coming together. There was a stipulation in the contract, Jay, coming over today. I had to have a blow dryer and hair gel so he can keep his hair looking on point.
Gotta be able to have the windows down and keep the hair right.
Oh, dude, I forgot about the purple M&Ms. So at this point, we've been kind of touching it up, and some of the paint has dried. As we mentioned earlier, we had highlighted there was a couple areas that weren't drying. Jay tried to do some touch up, but he noticed kind of coming inside in the light in the Lethal Garage versus outside sunlight, the color difference, there you could see there's a color difference. And we really wanted to take this on in a sense and be able to do a quick touch up job, but now it looks like we're gonna have to redo it.
Do it right, you gotta do it the hard way. Like I can't, this for my car, I can't leave this like this. It's just, you get it out in the sun and you can see it's like one tint too light versus the black that they used.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but this is a dash and this is what you look at. Well, you should be looking at the road, but when you're not looking at the road, usually it's at the dash. Because this is also going to be out in the sun, you know, in your car with all that direct sunlight and daylight, this is going to be super obvious, the mismatch. And I wouldn't be able to live with that personally. And knowing you, I think you're more picky when it comes to like paint and things like that on cars than I am.
Maybe.
So there's no way in hell like this would work for you. And I think you would tell me, well, it's all right. Like no, put aside the friendship and be like, Jay, it's wrong.
Well, you're not done yet, so I can't say anything.
So now I say we spray the whole thing black. What we got to do though is figure out where we're going to spray this. Outside's a little breezy, and in here we don't want to get your overspraying anything. It's real low pressure, but...
Well, I got big wooden panels that this crated in, like we can set up like a little anti-breeze area.
Make a little booth, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to work on that, I'm going to start masking some of this chrome off.
So guys, Jay made one simple request of me. He's like, hey, we're going to spray paint this and not get overspray on your car. He had no part in this, but I made him the most amazing spray booth you're ever going to see out of cardboard.
I'm proud of this one.
Double walled that my toolbox came in. What?
Remember how these were all messed up? Watch. Just with the 1500 grit.
He takes it off.
So.
It's back. Okay, you guys are about to witness the most lethal cardboard paint booth ever. Oh, you guys can already see the structure. Look at this thing. It's roomy. I bet I can climb up in there and fit. Look at it. It's got ventilation in the top. Jay fears for his life right now, but it's...
I'm afraid of what might crawl out of it.
Hey Jay, I haven't said it in this video yet, but thank you for coming over and helping me with this.
You're welcome. Thank you for lunch. Wait, pay me in food. It's fine.
Yes. Did I tell you we're having McDonald's? So I was originally going to use the wood, but then I realized I'd have to cut it with a saw and get it to bend, and then I was like, how am I going to make it attach? And cardboard and duct tape.
Right.
It's interesting the issue that we had. So we went to go tape off some of the stuff, and we started noticing this right away because Jay peeled off some of the tape, and the paint that was applied to the bezel already from Dakota Digital came off with the tape. And then this isn't like any special crazy tape. It's just standard masking kind of tape that you would mask stuff off to protect stuff.
I think if any of your viewers have ever tried to paint anything that's chrome,
well,
knows how it doesn't stick.
Yeah.
The same thing is happening to this. The only chance it had of sticking is it's textured.
Yeah. So we ended up going down, went to my local hobby store. We got some how do you pronounce this?
Tamiya.
Tamiya flat black, which, you know, they only had one little baby can, which sucked, but
it was just enough.
It's Sunday and we had no other options. But
it's so even. Look at that spray.
So you can see we painted over all the chrome, but we have an idea for that. I'm not going to tell you just yet. We're not going to get cray-cray. We're going to let this dry. But now it looks perfectly even. All of the issue areas are non-issue areas. And yeah, looks good. Jay, your spray can shaking paint I can't talk.
He's making fun of the fact that I was doing the
his His spray paint methods.
Hey, are there any runs?
Hey, I didn't.
Is there any missed spots?
I wasn't necessarily saying it was bad. I'm just saying your technique is very unique.
It's the
His technique is unique.
What I was noticing is like the chrome that was down inside the rectangle here.
Yeah.
It was flaking off in big chunks. I don't know if you saw the amount of it.
Yeah, no, it definitely was.
And that was where we didn't spray. That was just its own paint.
And well, we saw that on this upper edge because it was flaking here and out of the bubble wrap.
This corner over here.
Yeah, that whole corner lifted up. Or was it down here or whatever?
It was the main part here in this bend.
Like he literally was touching it and like it just all fell off.
Yeah.
So super frustrating in a sense.
So my idea was like, well, we need to bring this back to black, and then we need to clear coat it.
Are we did you just go full Metallica?
Back to black. I'm not gonna even try and sing this song. Okay. But I feel like if we seal it all in with a matte clear,
it might hold.
No, I think it would hold because the longer this is on there, and every time it gets baked in the sun, it's only gonna get harder.
Yeah.
But the question is whether or not we want to do the thing I mentioned maybe doing, or just cut our losses and leave it black and put your gauges behind it and see how it looks.
Well, I say we let it. How long do you think it will be before it's like dry? It's probably already dry.
It's dry to the touch now. I think if we let it sit in the sun for 10 minutes and get hot and then let it cool again.
I'll go grab my gauges and we'll see how it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do that. Maybe it's just a sign. It's like, lethal, you're not doing chrome.
I feel like
the one thing I will highlight, and this still remains true compared to all the other bezels I've seen out there, this is the only one that's going to accurately look like factory, minus it's not shiny, and it wasn't shiny before we painted it, which I liked. I liked the matte look over the shiny gloss look. Yeah. And it has the texture just like factory. And it looks just like factory. All the other options, and I know everyone's, what they like is different. Everyone has different styles. So for me, I'm not a fan of the smooth, flat metal pieces that companies make. I think if you have a race car or you're going for that specific look, great. For me, I want the interior to mimic original, but have touches of modern here and there. And that's the goal. So I really was stuck on the kind of bezel I wanted to go with because I didn't feel it. Like I looked at the carbon fiber ones. I looked at I should look at myself. I'm sitting here talking just camera at the bezel. But it, you see the carbon fibers, you see the metal, you see the brushed aluminum, you see the fiberglass versions, and they're not bad. And if you love those, great, more power to you. But I just hope you understand the direction we're going. And that's why I'm being stubborn with this one. And I still have to say thanks to Jay for spending his time with me here. I know he's a busy man.
I wanted it to be easier, just touch up the parts that were bad and let you be
quick. We attempted it though.
But I think what we would have experienced over time is more flaking of paint, especially when you're going to install it.
Probably.
And you still need to be careful when you install this one. I think it's going to be stronger than it was before in terms of the paint adhering. But yeah, that was surprising. Because my first gen doesn't have, like, this is totally different. Yeah. First gen, it's smooth, it's not textured, it's just a single piece with 4 screws and it goes in.
Yeah, and it's very, actually the bezel it mounts to is very, there's not a lot of it. Yeah. Most of it is the gauges.
Yeah.
So mine is very much bezel with gauges in between.
This is definitely a instrument cluster.
Yes. But there was one thing that we benefit out of this. I impulse bought something.
I kind of want one. Hey, it's all-wheel drive. Are you doing that conversion? I know, I saw that earlier.
Hey, Jay. I got 2 of them. Don't ask how. So it's kind of awkward because we went through this whole transformation and I got the bezel from Dakota Digital because of the quality and everything and because of the chrome trim. And now that we painted it all black, I'm like, maybe we leave it all black. It kind of looks really nice with the gauges all black. So the nice thing about what we've done is we fixed the eyesore, but the downside of it, well, I guess there really is no downside because we can just go back and make it chrome whenever we want if I want to add the chrome layer to it. So we're gonna leave it black. I'm gonna put a flat clear on it just to seal it all up so we don't have potential issues of the paint flaking off and chipping. Should create a nice shell around it and hopefully help that issue. And but I think we're gonna leave it solid black for the time being. And if I find myself when we're assembling the car and get to that stage that I'm like, you know what, I think this is gonna look a lot better with chrome, we can go ahead and just sand the edges a little bit, get the chrome on there, and then do another coat of flat clear. I think that's going to be the best way to go at this point. It kind of makes the gauges stand out better, and I don't know how much more they're going to stand out once they're lit up and plugged in and turned on, but it's one of those things that I think at this point we just have to wait till we start assembling the car to really define those individual details. So it's like you kind of get that mindset in your head of like, I want it this way, but then I'm like, you know what, that actually looks really good, maybe we'll keep it that way. So, and the factory one that I had is all black as well, so that's another thing. Like, I looked at that one, I'm like, there is no chrome on this one, so maybe we go that route. So we'll see. That's where we're at. Let's go check on Jay. He's putting the clear coat on it right now. Well, as I walked up, he came back from clearing. That looks pretty nice.
About a half a can for it.
That looks good.
The clear really like makes it even too.
And I think the one thing I just highlighted on camera was if we want to make it chrome later on, we definitely can.
Yeah, and it would be easy. Well,
one, it would be easy, and two, we actually have a base layer that will be easier to chrome.
Well, no, I wouldn't add chrome to this. No? I would now sand back to the chrome that's on it.
Really?
Seriously.
Even with the clear on there now?
Yeah, and then I would just clear over it again once it's all where we want it.
I think that looks pretty good. Sorry, I left the plastic protective covers on the edge, but the inside ones are not really touching the plastic, so.
Like, I've got a lot of chrome trim on the inside of my 67.
There you go.
But I certainly am not gonna, like, if this were my car, I would leave it like that.
I think the other side of it is this switch is gonna be chrome, that's gonna have chrome with black, and I believe it actually lights up, and all of these are gonna light up. So it's what's actually going to grab your attention. And I think, again, and I mentioned this, you were over there painting, but I had mentioned that what if, well, the final details, you kind of have to get it all together and be like, you know what, maybe that will look better with chrome, or it doesn't matter. Like, you're not going to notice it because you're going to have a steering wheel right here. There's going to be chrome on the steering wheel. Actually, I got the steering wheel. Steering wheel status racing. So if you think about where the steering column is going to be, kind of get an idea of how that's going to line up. And I have the teal. I think it sticks out a little bit further.
Because you have some column that's going to show.
But yeah, the column is going to be tilt. I think that'll look good because the wheel currently is black on black. I don't know why I said it was chrome in the center. I swore it was chrome. Black on black. Little grayish center stripe. Matches the other parts of the interior. I haven't shown you yet.
The status text kind of matches some of the gauges too.
Yeah, so I mean, and the gauges aren't white, they call them silver, and they could be whatever color you want. So the lighting with the HDX setup, you can change it. It's like a ton of different colors. So I'll probably just run white. I don't really care for the crazy colors, but it was more for the kids. I spent all that extra money and be like, hey kids, what color do you want it to be today that you can't even see?
Yeah,
the things you convince yourself that you need, right? We attempted to fix the original. I think we just about had it. The paint almost matched. Jay wasn't 100% happy. He knew I wasn't going to be happy. I didn't really know what it would look like because it was still drying, but Jay obviously has a lot more experience with this stuff. But I think the end result that we got today was good. Yes, we eliminated the chrome trim, but like I mentioned earlier, we'll see how it looks once it's in the car. And if I want to add the chrome back, we can do that. So we have options, and we'll just see how it pans out. How do you think it panned out, Jay?
It was good. I think what I would do if you decide you want the chrome back is not bring it back everywhere it was, like all the trim. I would just bring it back on the round gauges.
Yeah. Not
on the lights, not on the indicator, the wipers, or any of that. Just on the round gauges themselves. And then literally, I would sand back down to the chrome.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll do that. We'll see. We shall see.
I mean, it's this easy to take out once it's in, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we spent larger part of an entire day messing around with this. We had a delicious sit-down lunch. We went to a restaurant today.
But weird.
Yeah, it was weird. It was really good though. Having fresh food served to you.
I know, it's like how much of it was really good versus it was just not home.
it's like a full day and you're starving and anything would taste good. But That's it. That's all we got. Huge shout out to Jay. Thank you, sir, for coming down, spending your time with us.
You're welcome.
The
Thanks for
Lethal
helping me
Garage.
hit myself in the face with a hammer and stuff.
Well, I don't want to take credit for hitting you with a. I mean, you hitting you with a hammer. If you guys didn't see that video, I'll put a link down below. But it was pretty good.
You have to witness it.
If you just want to laugh, if you need a good laugh, click the link below. And also subscribe to Jay's car channel. He's working on a 67. He's kind of doing the same thing I'm doing, but he's not going all the way to the beginning and building it back up. He has a car.
I would have if it was just the body, like you started.
Yeah, but he has a car, and now he's making it his own and doing what he wants to it and making it right in how he wants to drive it. So it's a cool little journey he's taken, and he's already got quite a bit of videos up already. And I think what you're trying to do, 1 a week.
That's I want to do
like
4 a month and 1 a week.
Yeah. So check it out.
Our next one's the.
I've even made some appearances there. Yes, overall suspension. He just did the whole front.
That we found.
His car's full of surprises, just like mine's been. So it's a common theme in building cars. But that's it. That's all I got today. Thanks for checking it out. If you guys haven't subscribed, do so down below. If you guys want more content, check it out. There's quite a few videos on the 71 already. There's a playlist for it. I'll link it down below if you haven't seen many of the videos. Until next time, guys, hope to see you on the road.